just today, we're turning our attention now there, the sex trafficking case against Diddy. And the Neema, good to see you, and thanks for being with us here. You were tweeting about the Diddy case today. There was an emergency hearing called this afternoon at the courthouse in Lower Manhattan, the judge ordering the prosecution to turn over its findings from a jail cell raid, Diddy's jail cell, just yesterday. What were the contents of those raids?
Well, apparently, according to the defense, their legal documents, the government saying no, on the contrary, they're just some handwritten notes and a calendar. And what the judge did, Judge Subramanian, is he ordered the prosecution to destroy their copies. He kept copies, and he's going to review them in chambers or in camera. And one of two things will happen. Either the defense is right, and those are privileged materials, in which case they will not go to the prosecution, or the prosecution is right, and they have nothing to do with the legal case, and the government will get copies. It's only 20 pages. I don't think it'll take the judge that long. But I think the media is reporting this as some huge win for the defense because the government has to destroy their copies. They may get copies of those documents in a matter of days. So I think it's premature to say that this is any type of victory for Sean Diddy Combs. Really, the only victory today was the judge said that he doesn't have to be shackled during the pendency of the proceedings in court. So I think that's a big win for him.
Welcome back to the channel where we break down the stories behind the headlines. Today, we dive into the high-stakes courtroom drama surrounding Sean Diddy Combs, one of hip-hop's most influential figures. From a mysterious jailhouse to-do list to shocking allegations, this case has the makings of a blockbuster. Let's get into it. Sean Diddy Combs, the mogul who built an empire on music, fashion, and entrepreneurship, now faces some of the most severe accusations of his career. Arrested in mid-September on charges ranging from sex trafficking to obstruction of justice, Diddy's legal battle took a dramatic twist this week. Here's the deal. During a raid of Diddy's jail cell at the Metropolitan Detention Center, officials found a handwritten to-do list. Now, you'd think a to-do list would just include mundane tasks like call my lawyer or read a book, right? But not in this case. The Bureau of Prisons secretly photographed these notes and handed them over to prosecutors. And that's where things get really spicy. According to prosecutors, this list includes tasks like find dirt on a victim and follow up on witness payments. If true, this could be smoking gun evidence of obstruction of justice. To help us break this down, we've brought in criminal defense attorney Sarah Jenkins. Sarah, how significant is this to-do list in Diddy's case? According to Sarah Jenkins, she said that this is huge. If the allegations are correct, these notes could imply Diddy was actively working to manipulate the case against him. However, there's a big legal question here about whether these notes are protected by attorney-client privilege. Diddy's defense team is arguing that these notes were private legal communications. How might that play out in court? Sarah Jenkins also said that it depends. If the notes were strictly related to legal strategy, they'd be protected. But prosecutors are invoking the crime-fraud exception, which removes privilege if the communications were used to further criminal activity. That's a high-stakes argument for both sides. Thanks, Sarah. Now, let's talk about what this means for Diddy's defense. His lawyers are furious, claiming that the raid on his cell violated his rights. In court, Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, called this a breach of attorney-client privilege and demanded that the case be dismissed or, at the very least, the entire prosecution team be recused. But prosecutors argue that these notes aren't just evidence. They're a window into Diddy's alleged efforts to obstruct justice. If proven, this could lead to additional charges, including obstruction. Let's break down the timeline. First, Diddy was arrested in September. The raid on his cell happened in late October. Now, these notes are at the center of a grand jury investigation. Prosecutors are building a case for possible new charges, and a judge has ordered them to delete the photos of the notes, at least until it's decided whether they're privileged. So what's on the line here? For Diddy, everything, his empire, his freedom, and his legacy. For prosecutors, this case could be a defining moment in their careers. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. What do you think? Should the raid on Diddy's cell be considered a breach of his rights? Or do you believe the prosecution's claim that these notes reveal something far more sinister? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's not forget who Diddy is, a pioneer in hip-hop, a business mogul, and a cultural icon. This case could redefine his legacy, for better or worse. Before we wrap up, let's talk about what's next. Diddy is due back in court on Friday, where his team will argue for bail. Prosecutors are barred from using the disputed notes in their bail arguments, but make no mistake, this fight is far from over. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest stories in entertainment and culture. Hit that bell icon so you don't miss our updates on this explosive case. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed. Peace.